But yeah, dude, John Wick 4, Brayden, I don't know if you have the synopsis up or not, but if you just kind of want to pull that up, read off the synopsis for us, man, and yeah, we'll dive into our little 30-second summary. And also, before we dive into this, I binge watched all the John Wick movies last week to get ready for this. Brayden saw the first two, didn't see the third one,
Yeah, I never
so
saw
just to
the
let
third.
everybody
I'm
know
bad.
that's kind of what our expectations, I guess, were. I was very fresh, and Brayden did not see the third one, so but you didn't really miss much, and I'm gonna get into that in my cons. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So
No, I definitely it was so funny because when I told my friend Sean that, Sean,
yeah.
he instantly started pulling up a lot of the fight scenes and clips and he was like, "Dude, so you didn't see this or you didn't see this?"
John Wick 3 has the best
So I don't
action
know.
scenes
I was
of the
gonna say
entire
I don't know the
franchise.
story, but I saw like the horse scene. I saw
Yes,
the
bro.
antique knife scene. I
Yep.
saw a few of the other scenes. So I don't have an idea of really what the plot is, but the action shots are
It's the
sick.
plot of John Wick 4, which once again we'll get to later.
We'll get to later.
Yeah.
But I have the synopsis pulled
Let's
up.
get it, bro.
Dun dun dun. With the price on his head ever increasing, legendary hitman John Vick takes his fight against the high table global as he seeks out the most powerful players in the underworld. From New York to Paris to Japan to Berlin. Boom.
All right.
Boom.
Alrighty. Um yeah, man. The synopsis sounds like it'd be the best John Wick movie. For sure. The premise sounds like it'd be the best John Wick movie, but I don't know. Let's just kind of dive into it, though. I'll start with my little 30-second summary.
Yeah.
John Wick 4 was everything you want in a John Wick movie. It is a great John Wick movie. There's no bad John Wick movie. They're all incredible. They all do what they do best. Keanu Reeves is awesome as always. Everybody is absolutely incredible in it. And yeah, just a typical John Wick film. Not a lot to it. Just a lot longer than every other John Wick movie. And whether I feel that or not, yeah, whether I feel the runtime or not, we'll get to in a little bit. But this movie was about an hour longer than most other John Wick movies, which is pretty unreal. Because there's a lot going on, and it's the final conclusion. But I did like Bill Skarsgård, which was really cool. I really enjoyed him as the
Fire.
villain, and some really good fight scenes, and I think the best cinematography, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Um, yeah, no, I pretty much I agree with a lot of it. I would agree on the points of John Wick. It's a very good John Wick movie. It's just John Wick. I think this is in a weird way, and it makes sense. It's the most experienced John Wick we've seen. Like, definitely, I feel like his takedowns and his ways of like attacking people and bringing them to the floor was very. It just seemed more safe. Like not like if that makes sense. If you've seen the movie, you can almost understand what I'm saying. It's more safe. It doesn't seem like he's kind of just going on like last minute adrenaline, like, oh shit, throw it at him, do this. Like he kind of seems like he's planning out what he's doing.
Yeah.
Um, I think the movie's great, and I have something actually extremely funny to say about the runtime. It's a runtime of 2 hours and 50 minutes, correct? And my problem is with this John Wick movie is a fantastic John Wick movie and probably would have been the best had the last 15 to 25 minutes not gone the way it did, because at that point it instantly needed to be a longer movie, which makes no sense. But this is where they almost started a whole new story, but it should have been like a Deathly Hollows type thing, like a part one and part two, in my opinion, just because of the place that they went at the end of this film. I think everyone could have stepped away still in a completely different manner of how things it could have ended. I thought it was a little rushed. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I thought the ending was a little rushed. I thought some things like we'll get into it, like with his wife, like seeing her for the first time, like, like why now in the movie, like you haven't even one time brought her up.
Yeah.
It's a great action movie. I loved actually the comedic aspect of it. The fight scenes really reminded me of of oh man, I can't think of the name. You know those like Japanese Ip Man. You ever seen Ip Man?
No.
IP Man? Oh man, dude, you need to
No.
go watch those. Some of the best fights
I
ever,
bet.
dude. Reminded me a lot of Ip Man. But what I like about John Wick is it's still realistic compared to, no offense to the Japanese or like even like the Asian culture, but when they do films like that, a lot of them are like, you can tell like It's very
Just a
excessive. Like they're like,
crazy samurai, yeah.
yeah. It's not.
But,
It's not
it's
realistic.
cool in its own way, though.
It's
For
cool in
sure.
its own way.
Yeah.
But that's where I feel like they took a little esque from that and kept it realistic with the fighting in this movie, and that was super cool to me. I just one other thing, and we'll get to it, is just it said in the synopsis, the choice of jumping around the globe so much.
Yeah.
We'll get to that point a little bit later,
Mhm.
but I thought that was a very interesting thing. But yeah, pretty much great action movie.
Yeah,
One of my favorite action movies I've seen.
I'm with you, dude. It was definitely it's a great John Wick film, for sure. And just everything you want in a John Wick movie, just not as good as some of the other ones, for sure. And you brought something up. We can kind of segue into our cons, because I only have two cons with this film. They're pretty major ones. Actually, no, I have three. Now that you brought it up, there's two main ones here. And you mentioned on your little 30-second or 5-minute recap. Sorry.
20-minute rant.
You mentioned the part 1 and part 2 thing. That's pretty much what 3 and 4 are. When you watch 3, you'll see it's the same exact story.
Really?
And that's what kind of takes away from this movie for me. It's like they didn't tie up a lot of what they needed to tie up, and they didn't need to extend it into a 2-hour or 3-hour movie. You didn't need to do that at all. It was basically not beat for beat, but a lot of the same things happen in this movie that happened in the third one. And in that third movie, John Wick is trying to get to the table, like the main table thing, right? The main guy. He actually gets to him and he chops off his finger and all that fun stuff. Like, he goes through a lot of the same stuff in the desert that he goes through in this movie too. It's a lot of the same stuff, and obviously not the same exact story. It's bigger stakes, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of the same stuff regarding the table stuff. So it's like, I just watched John Wick 3 the night before John Wick 4. So I easily segued into John Wick 4. So John Wick 3 was very, it was still in my mind. Pretty good in there. So I knew it was still very fresh in my mind. So I knew a lot of the story that was going on, and it felt like this movie just took the ending of part 3, and instead of, I feel like part 3 should have been 3 hours long, because now you took what could have been 30 minutes and brought it into a 2-hour film. And that goes into one of my next big cons actually, which was, why not stay in Japan? Japan was a perfect setting within the first 30 minutes of this film, and then you just segue out of it. And it felt like it was a whole different movie after that. Don't you agree? Like, it was like a totally different film. So
and that's
why
what I was
not
saying
keep
at
that
the
going?
end of my this little 20,000 year rant. That them jumping across so many. The Japan was the coolest part. Japan was the coolest part of the whole thing.
My favorite setting out of the entire franchise.
That and like New York at the end in the duel, like that was it. But it's not even like Paris was cool too, but it's because of the Eiffel Tower. Like these things, like Japan had the coolest action. I feel like that's where the story was really getting juicy.
Yeah, dude.
And then it's not that it was confusing jumping around from all the places, but like what was the point? There is no point. Like, you know what I mean? We're in freaking 6 different locations for what? He's going to a new place for what every time? He was never really going there for it. It never felt like he was going there for a point. It just felt like he was going there to kill more people. So
To go through different beats.
Yeah. Just same place, different people. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
I agree. They should have kept him in Japan. That's something that we said when we literally watched the credits roll.
That's the first thing I said. I was like, why not stay in Japan, dude? And we'll get to that in the pros. But no, when you watch John Wick 3, Brayden, you'll see it's literally the same exact story, and that's my biggest con. It's like, and I'm not the only person that thinks this. I've talked to a few other people, and they agree as well. Even the people that say it's the best action movie of all time, they have this con. They're like, this movie didn't almost need to happen. And I'm not saying that, listen, give me 10 John Wick movies, I'll enjoy them all. I just love the action in it, some of the best action, best cinematography, the best choreography, all that stuff that we've ever seen. And the most consistent, by the way. These are all great movies. And I'm not, once again, these are the cons for this film. I really enjoyed this film. These are just the cons. But we just got John Wick 3 again. And it underachieved in the sense of the action, I think. I think John Wick 3 has the best action sequences of the entire franchise. Everything from the motorcycle stuff to the blades, like there's so, and the horse stuff, there's so many good things, bro. And then This movie is like, oh, okay, we're gonna keep the story
yeah,
going,
exactly.
and it didn't try to one up it, but it just didn't live up to 3, in my opinion, when it came to the action. I'm not saying the action was bad. People are gonna be jumping down my throat. The action's not bad, but it's not as good as John Wick 3, which is hard to beat.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest thing, man. Probably my biggest con was like it felt like it kept going on, and that kind of goes into my next big con, which is the runtime. People say, "Oh, it didn't feel like 3 hours." It definitely did. I don't know if it's because I had to piss or what, but oh my god, I was sitting there and I was like, dude, and I didn't look at the runtime before the movie. I should have done that. But John Wick 1 is an hour and 47. John Wick 2 is an hour or 2 hours and 2 minutes. John Wick 3 is like 2 hours and like 10 minutes. This movie is 30 to 40 minutes longer than any other John Wick movie, and
I definitely
feel
noticed it. Yeah, at first I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. For a while I didn't, and then it got to a point where I was like, "Wow, like this has been so long," and I feel like we're not even coming to a climax yet, or like we're about to just get to the climax. So like, where are we at? You know what I mean? No, definitely was a little long. That's kind of why I said chop it into 2 parts. But I get what you're saying with the third part was kind of and that would make it just more messy to put two. I don't know. It seems like you kind of summed it up perfectly. Like this movie almost didn't need to be made. Not that it wasn't good, but like it's kind of like Toy Story 4. Like you didn't need to do that, but like it's good.
But it worked.
But it works.
Yeah.
It's good. So like you didn't need to do this, but like it works.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Dang it! Oh no!
Ermy Gardner.
I had a point, man. I had a point.
Ermy Gardner.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, like you said, it's not the point. I'm gonna get back to it eventually. I just gotta talk a little bit, and it'll come to my mind. But yeah, it didn't. Okay, here it is. So I watched this movie. Obviously, I watched John Wick 1 on like Tuesday, the second one on Wednesday, and then Thursday I watched 3. I watched 2 and 3 on Thursday. So I binged the entire franchise leading up to it. And I think that's why I'm not as big on John Wick 4 as other people. Now, if you watch John Wick 4 as itself, then you're going to love it. You're going to really enjoy it. But after you watch 3 and you see that it's not an exact copy, but there's a lot of similarities in the story, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I just was through this. So when people, and listen, people are calling it the best action movie of all time, and I want to call this right now. When people go back and binge the entire franchise as one, John Wick 4 is not going to be known as the best of all time anymore. People are going to be like, oh, okay, it's a great action movie. One of the best of all, not one of the best of all time, but definitely all the John Wick movies are some of the best we've ever seen. But it's not the best. It's not even the best John Wick movie. When they rewatch it, they're going to be like, 3. I think most people can agree 3 is usually at the bottom of people's lists. But then you go to 4 and it's like, it's the same story, just some good action and probably a better villain for sure, Bill Skarsgård. But then you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Stinky ending.
So you're gonna love it. Yeah, really good ending actually. You're gonna love it, but when you watch it as an entire thing or entire franchise and binge it, you're gonna definitely take a step back and be like, oh, it's not as good as I remember. I'm just saying, I might be totally wrong. People might love it even more over time and say it's one of the best movies ever made. But I genuinely think when people go and binge this as a franchise, they're gonna be like, okay, here goes 3. I already know what happens in 4, and 3 is literally just John Wick 4, just with a crappier villain. And then they get to 4 and it's like, oh, same thing as 3. You know what I mean? While John Wick 1 and 2 are just their own thing and just so different and so good, which is why I love those films so much. But no, the runtime didn't help that at all. It was kind of like, all right, here we go. Let's keep it going. And I personally really felt it. And once again, I think it's because I watched all the John Wick movies in a row and I was used to that 2 hour, you know what I mean, hour and 50-minute runtime. And I get to this one and it's double that. So, or not double it, but an extra 50 minutes, extra 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of threw me off. So when people watch it as an entire franchise, it'll definitely go down, I believe, a little bit. Or maybe I just need to watch it again. Sometimes we talked about this. It's so hard to review a film when you've only seen it one time. So hard because your opinions change totally. I think a big one for me, I didn't tell you about this, Brayden, but I watched The Whale again recently, like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, it's not bad. It's not bad. I hated on it a lot, but I've appreciated it a little bit more. For sure, but it a lot more than what I did, and I think it's because once again you have expectations. And that's another thing too. People were saying this movie was the best action movie of all time before we went in to watch it, and I think that kind of our expectations were way too high for it. Maybe that's what it was. People are like, oh, it's something like you've ever seen before. It's crazy. It's like, oh, it's good. It's a great John Wick movie. But is it?
It's a great John. Yeah.
But those are pretty much my cons. And Brayden, I don't know if you have anything to expand on that with, but I can go into my last con, which is regarding the ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you don't have anything to expand on
No,
that?
I mean, like, pretty much. I think out of all of that, my biggest con had to have been like, I guess the runtime. It felt as it felt long. It felt too short with the direction of where we're going with the next con. That's kind of why I was gonna like more expand on that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I only had like pretty much one or two cons. The only
You,
one was like the runtime and then the ending, like about what we're about to go into.
you can segue into that if you want to.
Yeah. I just think like you said, this movie was really good. It was a really awesome John Wick film. I love the fights. I think it's super dope, and I give Keanu props at this age for doing it because nobody else is doing it like him.
Yeah.
It's a realistic, even the shooting and stuff. He really learned how to do all this stuff. So like, you got to give kudos to him
Yeah.
and props. But like, I guess I'll do this as like a mini con just because it won't take up too much time. But and I said this to you, like I just think some of the kills could have been a little cooler, like the pencil scene from John Wick 2. I think that is so dope of a scene. He uses to kills people with a pencil. Like I was telling
So
Logan,
good.
like every time they're in a freaking fight, dude, everyone's pulling up their shirt to block their head from bullets. Every like it would have been cool, like when John gets it at first and he uses it for like the last 25 minutes. Because now when everybody has it, well, okay, one, that's too OP. So that's why you have to give it to him for a short amount of time. Then they're like, too OP. Let's give it to everybody. So now everyone's in every freaking gunfight, like
Yeah.
it's just it's not stupid, but it's like you've just ruined the purpose of it. Just wear a
Yeah.
helmet at that point. Like what the fuck? Sorry,
You're,
pardon
you're
my
right.
language,
You're actually
but
no. You're 100% right. No,
I
you wear
was
a helmet.
sitting there through
Yeah.
the movie. I was like, why does John Wick not have a helmet? Because
Yeah.
you need to see his face.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
what is it? Why are
I
we jeopardizing his safety
you're
just
right.
so you can freaking pull your jacket
You're
up?
right.
You know what I mean?
Or thing with the hood. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Have
or
a
a
hood
hood.
back there. Yeah, hood would be, you know how
Exactly.
dope that would be?
Even
To
cooler.
be
It
honest,
would have
I
worked
would
better.
actually appreciate it if they had a hood. Because, you know, like some like
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed. Oh, my God.
that would have been so dope.
Dude.
Yeah,
How do they not think about that, bro? Like, oh, dude, that'd be so clean.
I don't know.
Bro, oh my god.
Um,
But no,
but yeah,
I feel that, and that's happens in John Wick 3 a lot because it gets introduced in
yeah,
John Wick 2, right? Like you said, toward like the middle and the end.
yeah.
But John Wick 3, it's heavily in there as well, and John Wick 4, it's definitely in there as well. So,
It's not even that it's the
I
worst
see what you're
thing, but
saying.
it's just you get what I'm saying. It's just kind of like that's a little weird.
It
Like,
takes
why are
away
you
from the
doing that?
simplicity of what the first two films were.
Exactly, because it's like now it's not even that he's unkillable. Like if realistically he'd be dead right now if he did not have that ballistic armor. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
In the first film, he didn't rely on that. You know, he got shot. He was like shot. You know what I mean?
yeah. He was
Um,
smart. He was precise with
yeah,
his movements and what he was gonna do. Yeah, it was more
yeah,
like a
which kind of
hitman feel.
almost goes away against. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
is. In the
yeah,
first ones, he feels more hitman. In these ones, he feels more like combat veteran. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I get
yeah,
that.
you get what I'm
I feel what
saying.
you're saying.
But to get way into the main con, the ending, man.
Yeah, bro.
I was really enjoying myself up into the ending, and I just don't like. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna start off with this. The movie was very predictable because they do it on purpose. They literally talk about how about four different people tell John Wick in this one movie. Not only have they told him in the whole series, in this one movie alone, they tell him the only way that John Wick will be free is if he dies. That is literally what, like, dude,
They
four
say it
different
about
people
like
say.
4 or 5 times in this film.
And then you
And
get to the end,
you know what's
and
funny
this
too? You know what's funny?
yeah,
You were denying it too. You're like, they're not gonna. There's no way
they
they're gonna
wouldn't
kill
do it.
John
I
Wick.
know,
And
bro.
I looked over to Brayden. Oh, when when they were talking about the tombstones, and he's like, I want, or what do you say? I want a loving husband. That's what Keanu said. And that's a pretty good Keanu impression, right? I'm not
No,
gonna
that
lie.
wasn't
I don't
bad.
know.
That
That's
was-
decent.
wasn't
It's okay.
bad.
That's all right. But he turned and said that. And I looked right at Brayden. I was like, yeah, he's dead, bro. Brayden was like, no,
Dead.
bro, no way. I was like, they're gonna kill him. Watch. And it, like you said, it was just so predictable. I thought maybe I would be wrong because I thought they'd throw like a hook at us or something, but no, they
It's
just
predictable.
yeah.
They
Sorry,
literally did
I'll
it
let
to
you go.
themselves.
Yeah,
No, you're good. But it's predictable. And that kind of ruined it for me because it's like, so now I was right. Like, you were right the whole movie. Like, you know, you saying that, and anyone thinking that's going to sit on their mind. Like, that was sitting on my mind in the movie. Like, is he right? Like, is he really going to die? There's no way, bro. And he dies. And it's like, dude, what?
yeah,
Not, and this is where the big part of it comes. It's not that he died, it's how he died. And that is another point to the con. The ending in general is the biggest con of the movie. That's really it. Like you redo the ending, I think this movie shoots up on my John Wick list completely. It's just like you took the reason that he was fighting for away at the end. Like, and this is spoiler free. He ends up basically sacrificing his health and take a gunshot wound.
This is not spoiler free. You meant spoiler.
Or yeah, this is spoiler, not spoiler free.
Hope it's not spoiler free.
He takes a gunshot to basically lure Bill Skarsgård's character to come in and shoot him and actually ended up winning the duel. But in doing that, he loses. Why not on the freaking 20,000 flight of stairs that you climbed up with the cane guy? Why don't you just be like, hey, why not on the 10th pace? You just don't shoot me, dude. Or you just shoot the other fucking way, dude.
Yeah.
But no, dude. We're like, just fucking shoot me, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the only fucking guy that knows the plan, dude.
Yeah.
And then Bill Skarsgård, oh, this stupid boy shoots you, you arrogant asshole. Boom.
Yeah.
John wins. And you're sitting there, and it's like,
yeah.
You're literally looking at two playground scrapes and a freaking dude, 2 playground scrapes and a BB bullet to the side of the abdomen.
Yeah.
And I've seen John Wick in the same movie fall 9 stories and
oh my god,
face first dent into a van.
So that's actually probably another con, and that's with every John Wick movie. But come on, dude, I'm sorry.
No one survived. He gets right up.
He face plants on the freaking thing, bro. I was like, what?
Goes,
yeah, he
like
does. I'm like, come
face
on,
into the freaking
dude.
concrete. But then these 2 park scrapes, bro, when I tell you it was not even a flesh wound, bro, it was like a cat scratch. And then the one shot actually hit him and knocked him off his feet.
I feel like you have to blow John Wick up or do something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Just make him explode.
Or like in that moment, he takes the bullet and for some reason it wins, or like it just that goes on to the last con of the last con. John Wick goes into the sunset, and instead of having him like, it signifies him being on top as he's at the highest point that we kind of see in the movie. But like, you bring his dead wife back into the picture, and it's like, yeah, maybe if you're a fan, if you watch all 4 of the movies, it signifies it. But like, why didn't you at least introduce the thought of her again at the beginning of this movie? Like, why didn't you do that? You're just bringing a dead concept back in for no reason. So it's like, you're telling me John Wick was fighting for his wife the whole time, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're not seeing the whole meaning." I am, because you could have gone. There's so many things. You could even brought the dog back.
Yeah.
What's
the dog?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what sparked the whole first movie practically.
Yeah.
So what are we really? Why are we bringing what? So that he's free with his wife again, or? But that's not the point. I didn't think.
So the way, the way they're going with this is, obviously symbolizing that he's finally free of the table, and now he's free with his wife. So that, and the only way he could be free is be dead, and now with his wife. So that's what they were going for. I see what you're saying. That wasn't the problem with me. My big problem was the way they did it. It was so fast. There was no build up.
I agree.
And I understand why he didn't get help, because he accepted his fate. He knew he didn't want to die in an unhonorable way. Does that make sense? He knew, okay, you know what, this isn't actually embarrassing. You know what I mean? I'll take the L and just die. This is my fate. That didn't bother me. It was so fast. It was like, he's dead. And
that's
one thing
where
too,
I was saying earlier.
Do you remember?
You don't need another movie, but with that ending, they make you feel like you need a whole nother movie, because what the hell? Like, where did it just last 20 minutes?
The first scene, and this is a callback. It was 100% a callback to the first movie. The first film, in the first scene, what do you see? John Wick get out of the car and slump over. He survived. And then you end John Wick 4 off the same way. Obviously, it's a callback to the first movie. But you end it off like that. So it was such a weird way for him to die. Do something bigger. Do something crazy. You know what I mean?
My biggest
and they didn't do it.
My problem with that, and this is, it takes the symbolism away, because he's not freeing himself to the other world. He won the duel. He would have been freed in the real world. So not only did he win, he accomplished his goal just to lose. I don't like when movies do that, because you've now taken the symbolism away. If he wouldn't have accomplished his goal, and that's what he was like, he knew there's no way out. he would never really be free in this real world.
I don't agree though. I think that like I said, that didn't bother me in my, because the reason, and this is why too. And I know you understand it. I'm just saying. That's what all he wanted to do was be with his wife. All he wanted to do was have a normal life. And throughout the entire franchise, they're constantly telling him, dude, you're never going to have a normal life again. The only way to get out of this is to die. And a great example is how, guess what? You came back into this after you retired. Nobody can retire for the rest of their life. They always come back into this and die. He accepted that. And that's why he's like, all right, you know what? I just want to be my wife. You know what I mean? That's what changed his life. You know what I mean? He became the John Wick that he was before his wife, obviously, in these movies. But there was always that part of him. Think about it, this only takes place in like a month span. This entire franchise. So this is very recent. So he still has that part of him that he's thinking about his wife. That's he's still grieving. He's still grieving at this point. In a pretty severe way. So that's why he just accepted it and was like, all right, I'm just going to be at peace. So that didn't bother me just because I understood that's what they're going for. And I think you understand that too. I just think you're like, I just wanted more out of it and wanted a better wrap up.
But it just,
I personally liked it.
It's like, then what was the point of the whole movie to just die at the end? Like he's trying to win, and he goes through the whole point of actually doing it the correct way, of going through a duel to be completely free. Like, what is the point of letting yourself die?
Well, because you're thinking too logically. That's your problem. You're thinking of
I
logical
am thinking,
terms.
because that's how I'm looking at it. Logically.
No, I get that.
If you want to be like that, then in the third one, it should have been over.
Yeah.
Because why, on so many occasions, if he wanted to be set free with his wife and another, like, he should have just let himself die or ended it. Like, why continue? You know what I mean? In a logistical standpoint,
he wanted himself to be at peace, or he didn't want John Wick somebody who doesn't want to lose. So maybe he didn't want to go out in a negative way.
You're making him entitled almost. You know what I mean, though?
What? In what way?
He has to go out like, it can't be. He has to go out this way. It can't be a normal death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But
like you said, he doesn't know he was
going to die. He didn't know he was going to die, so he accepted his fate at that point. If that makes sense, because he achieved something. He achieved what he was trying to do for the past 3 movies. Or the past. So
you think movies. You think after he got shot, that was like a come up on the go plan?
I don't think he was like, I'm gonna die. I just think he accepted. All right. I just think he accepted the circumstance, and the piece of dialogue that he had with Winston at the end kind of explains it. He accepted it in a way, and Winston knew.
Yeah.
And they had that conversation about the tombstones. Or not, no, it wasn't Winston. It was with the one dude. The one guy that plays the new Candyman. Fisher.
I know what
Jordan
you're saying.
Fisher. Is that Jordan Fisher? Is that his name? Not Jordan Fisher.
No, Jordan Fisher's the Disney kid.
Wait, that's the Disney kid. It's something Fisher, right? Fisher's in it.
I know what you're talking about.
Jamie, I don't know, something like that. Jordan Fisher is the singer. That's funny. But no, so he just accepted it, I think, in that point. I think you're looking at too much of like a logical standpoint. This is a film that the guy fell from 8 stories and survived. Not only in John Wick 4, but in John Wick. Dude, in John Wick 2 at the end, when he falls off the building and he somehow disappears, and then he's alive. Come on. He got shot off a building, right? Yeah. So this is that franchise. You can't look too deep into that. You just got to appreciate the symbolism and what they're going for, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just my thing, though. It
was all for nothing. That's what you're saying. It's all for nothing.
It was all for, like, all four movies now
that.
Are just completely like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have just, they killed my dog. I would have been like, right to the mouth.
Yeah.
Ended it. Joined my wife.
No,
fuck honor.
I'm sitting here trying to,
but I get what you're saying.
No, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, too, which I get it. I get it. You're saying it's all for nothing. Which is great because it's our first real like disagreement about a movie, and I love it. I love it. I'm trying to really like deep dive into this. You guys, let us know your opinion. Did you like the ending? Did you not like the ending?
Most people probably disagree with me.
No, but I see your point very well, like very vivid. Like I understand everything, every point that you're coming from. You know, it's almost like I have to rewatch the movie with your point of view, if that makes sense, and your perspective, and be like, oh, this is, which I understand it, but you know what I mean? Like so I can appreciate it or really let it digest.
So when I was talking to Sean, you played Call of Duty.
No, Brayden, I've never played Call of Duty.
Okay. Listen, you've played with like Ghost, you Modern Warfare
Yep.
2.
Yep.
He literally said it perfectly, and I looked at him and I was like, that is the best way I could have put it. It's like it's almost like they gave Ghost some like whack death. You know what I mean? Like Ghost death wasn't just like a pea shooter to the face, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like to the side. Like, you think he's doing the right thing, that you're about to complete the mission. The leader turns on him. They
Yeah.
blop him in the chest with a revolver and they light him on fire and burn him.
Yeah.
Like this is John Wick, the Baba Yaga. Like,
Yeah.
and you're telling me, and this is spoiler, like a blind man who can't even see his target
Yeah.
shoots him 2 skin grazes in the side and that kills him. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe that's not even a John Wick thing. That's also now a writer thing. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like there's one small thing that could have changed would have fixed the whole ending for me and gave it more of like not a purpose, because I see the purpose and I know the symbolism they're going for, but I just feel like you give a candy, if you give candy to a bait, or like give candy to a kid who didn't earn it, like they're just gonna always want candy.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to earn that glory in the end. I feel like by just doing both, it just was like, I don't know. I
I
don't
no,
know.
I see where you're coming from, dude. 100%. I totally understand. It's just so funny because there's two totally different ways to look at it, and both make sense. And
Mhm.
both perspectives make sense. So, everybody like listening to this now, man, we haven't even reached the pros yet, by the way. But you guys let us know what you think about it. Everybody will see your opinion for sure because it's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
I just think everybody's gonna be like, yeah, it's a movie that it's a popcorn movie. You can't really like look at it that way, but at the same time, that ruins movies for some people.
It's how I
Counting
was
me,
sitting
dude.
there with Scream, bro. I
There's
did the same thing for
yeah,
Scream.
no, go watch that review. Everybody watching this, and you can hear your opinion on that. But even Marvel movies, I'm the same way. It's freaking superheroes flying around.
No.
But if
Like,
they do stupid stuff,
I
it's like,
always
what are we
go
doing?
back to like when Star-Lord punches Thanos. When they were about to take the gauntlet off, like, you know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah,
original
and oh
scene.
my god, yeah,
And he's like, Mantis is on him, like
yeah,
frying his brain. They're about to take it off, and he's like, "Where's Gamora?"
yeah,
Poof, poof, poof.
yeah,
And it's like, why did you do that?
yeah,
You have now just caused the whole rest of the movie.
yeah,
He set up. He's the reason Endgame happened.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that if you
Infuriates
would have
you.
known me then, it infuriated me,
Yeah.
dude. Because like it's
For
not,
months, my boy locked himself in his room.
bro. Because I like Star-Lord and I see things
Yeah,
like that. And I'm such a like a logistic person. I see, and
yeah,
it's just like, why would you do that? You're a
mhm,
hero. You wouldn't do that. But
mhm,
then it's like his character wouldn't really do that.
yeah.
So,
No,
but
I see what you're saying, bro.
yeah,
Which
and
is why,
maybe
and like I said, they said they're taking a break, so this might just be all one thing.
exactly.
And he survived, and this might just why those characters would all get together though in the end, and
Well,
you know,
I wanted to tell you this because I told Sean this, and he thought it was super cool. What I really thought would have like made this movie perfect, and it would have sold them with like the stepping away.
Bradley Noble should have been in it.
Bradley freaking Martin Noble should have been in it. No, you've played GTA, of course.
Yes.
When Michael fakes his death, you know how they're all like mourning his grave, and then like I think it would have been a cool shot. Like they zoom out of him looking at his grave, and then he's kind of just sitting there like behind a tree, like smoking or something, and
Yeah.
like walks away. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a little cliche,
Reading the
but
script for the next Matrix movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like it would have given that like Hitman aspect, like you know what I mean, like he's dead, but he's never really dead.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like what's the point? Like why?
There-
Like it's not like it's a whole big thing. It's just three people that are just standing right
Mhm.
there. Now,
Yeah.
and that was my big problem with freaking what was it, dude? The Screams, another Scream 6 reference, and we'll get past this. Everybody watching, I know you're here for John Wick, but do you remember when the one girl that faked her death in Scream? And the redhead girl, she came back as a
Yes.
killer. She was
Yes.
talking to Ghostface, and there was nobody watching her. So what's the point in her sitting
Of
there?
doing
I
it.
just thought about this, dude. She's sitting there.
Absolutely.
There's no point. It'd be different if there was people around there, but there's literally nobody watching.
Yeah, I never really realized that
What's
until you
going
just
on?
said that.
You know
That
what I
is
mean?
so
It's so
stupid.
it's so stupid, and I never understood that. So it's just something, I don't know. Stuff like that really bothers me when movies do that, because it's like, logically, what are we doing here? So
What are you thinking?
What are you doing, man? So that's why, like, it just that it would be stupid in my opinion that they faked it, because it's like, what's the point in all them getting together unless there was another funeral? Maybe they were just mourning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's no
Yeah.
pastor or anything. But why would you get a pastor for John Wick's funeral? He's
Yeah.
probably murdered about 200,000 people.
Yeah,
But no,
there
so
you- yeah.
so yeah,
Maybe that's why. Maybe that is why.
Maybe that's why. So I don't know, but that's just kind of my opinion on it. We'll see what happens. But I'm glad we had this little kind of conversation,
Heck
dude,
yeah, man.
because both perspectives are very reasonable and very valid.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So, like I said, this is a movie that I need to watch a second time. Then I need to go through all the films again when John Wick
I
4
need to
comes
go
out and
through all
watch
the
them.
films again.
And
Yeah.
what
Maybe
we can
that's
do,
kind of why I look like
bro,
that.
and once again, we have the big end of the year thing we're gonna do where we do all the movies and we can kind of just talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see how we feel about it again. That's gonna be so much fun. Everybody watching, I say this in every movie review,
It's
but
gonna
at
be
the end
so
of the
dope.
at the end of the year, we're gonna get all the films that we've seen and reviewed on this podcast, and we're gonna rank them all. So that's gonna be really cool. I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah. That we should do that one of that episode as a live stream episode.
That would be cool. You're right, dude. That would be dope. That would be really cool. But we're gonna do some of those too before. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
You didn't
And then
see
some
the
other
plan.
Yeah.
You didn't get a plan.
And then some other stuff we want to talk about too regarding like guests and stuff. That's gonna be really cool as well. I'm pretty excited about that. Now let's get into the pros, man. This shouldn't be as long. Just kind of stuff we can kind of go through. I'll start with a couple of mine. Number one, the action, dude. The action's really cool. Like I said, I think the best action packed John Wick movie would probably be John Wick 3. The knife scene in John Wick 3 is literally my favorite scene. One of my favorite action scenes of all time. Probably my favorite action scene of all time. And it was just beautiful. So cool. I loved it, dude. Just, oh my God. I just thinking about it, bro.
That is one of the scenes I watched. It was so cool.
It's unreal. It's actually unreal. But the action in this was beautiful too. One of my favorite parts, which is why I wanted to stay in Japan. That's another pro of mine, is the Japan setting, is when you got all the guys with the arrows and the whole battle in the main residential.
Was so dope.
Dude, the Continental, I mean. That was unreal, bro. It was gorgeous,
it felt
too.
Like, honestly, it kind of felt like Mortal Kombat vibes.
It did,
you know
bro.
I mean?
No.
Like Mortal Kombat
and
vibes.
you had the John Krasinski guy. That's what we called him. Not the main side villain, which was the blind dude, but the other villain that they had was the John Krasinski dude. And bro, he was awesome in this. I mean, he was just going off, and his character like specifically gave off really cool Mortal Kombat vibes. Just a really cool sequence overall. Everything that happened in the Japan setting was just gorgeous. I mean, the lights in Tokyo, and then just the samurai culture, something I've always just fallen in love with. I'm not even a big anime guy, but I love the samurai type stuff, and we got a lot of that. And the arrows and the combat, it was just really, really cool stuff in the Japan setting. And then like the typical like pink leaves on the trees, the pink flowers and stuff. Like it gives off this vibe of like, bro, action. You know what I mean? You get ready.
Very culturally driven, and it was done very well. It wasn't like pushed down your throat, and I enjoyed every. As weird as it sounds, like I don't like that we hopped over so much, but I feel like if you shorten it down just to a few locations, it would have been really nice. Like
just keep it in Japan.
Keeping in Japan would have been ultimately the best thing, but even if they only cut it down to like 3 places, like you didn't have to go through like 7 different countries, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But Japan definitely had the coolest scenes. I love the cultural thing they did. I think, and this is something that I said in the cons earlier, they could have adapted like cooler fight scenes. Like I would have loved to see John Wick like fighting with a bow and arrow, like rolling over someone's back, like shooting one, taking it, stabbing someone, and then like reusing it, like just something cool, different. You know what I mean? It's not that the fight scenes in this movie weren't cool, but I've seen it before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just another John Wick movie, like we were saying. But
there's definitely missed opportunities.
That Japan-esque
that was
really
cool.
brought up the ante. It really gave it that, like I said, you need to watch Ip Man. It gave that Ip Man vibes.
Because Japan, like, fights and samurai stuff is always so gory. And it was gory, dude. It was, oh my God, it was beautiful. I wish we would have saw more of the samurai stuff for sure, though.
And they're not just, like, street fighting, like, because they're martial artists. There's technique to their fights. So it's just super cool. It is really cool. Super dope.
And it's just a vibe, man. I don't know.
The weapons.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was awesome, dude. And then, probably one of the coolest sequences, this happens in every John Wick movie, best one to say it's in Japan, is when they say the main guy at the Continental, the main dude, where his daughter is the front office person, the manager, bro, when he walks past the group of guys playing cards or whatever, and he's like, let's show our guests some hospitality. Bro, just behind him, the thing comes up, and there's swords, there's ninja throwing stars.
That's your homies. That's your homies right
dude,
there.
It got me so hyped, man. So that was a really cool sequence. I love that as well. One of the coolest moments in the film. But yeah, the Japan setting was gorgeous. And then the whole fight scene, remember down the stairs and everything? Like, I think that was the escalator, wasn't it? the escalator shot where he fell down. The escalator, and he fell down, and the whole thing
okay.
with John Wick and then the daughter of the manager kind of fighting
No,
back
totally.
to back, bro.
Yes.
Oh my God, one of my favorite sequences
Excellent.
of any action movie ever, and that's why I was just so into it. And then after that, it just kind of
Because you
like
saw
went
two
down.
different, two totally, and that's the coolest thing. They were two totally different trained fighters.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome is like the actors
Yeah.
probably worked with different coaches or
Yeah.
like maybe the same guy, but like they
Different
didn't
styles.
fight the same at all. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was so dope.
It was
So
really
dope.
cool. Really well done.
Yeah.
And we see that in a lot of John Wick movies. John Wick 3 had the manager of the other Continental that is, I guess, like the friend worked at or whatever. And they do a lot together with the two dogs. I don't think you haven't seen John Wick 3. But she had like these two, I forgot what kind of dogs they were. They're like small little dogs, and that's probably one of my favorite parts of John Wick 3 as well, is the fact that like dogs were used as like little attack weapons, dude. It was really cool. Like it was really, really cool. And this movie, it kind of had that same vibe as well, and was executed in a really good manner. Regarding the girl and him and her kind of fighting back to back. So really good stuff overall with the Japan
You ever seen
setting.
the X-Men with like Hugh Jackman?
Which one?
When they fought the Silver Samurai?
I don't think so. I never got into the X-Men movies.
It gives me very similar vibes.
Yeah.
And I hope some people in the comments can understand that.
Yeah, no, it was gorgeous, and the set, like I said, such a missed opportunity, and it really hurts me, bro. It hurts me. I just want to see a John Wick movie in Japan, please.
I think that's the only
please.
reason they didn't finish it there is because like it's the end. You know what I mean? Or not the end, but taking a break even. Like
Yeah, they got to
that's
bring
why
it
they
back to
probably-
New York, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So kind of crappy, but
But now it's not gonna feel cool if you go back because they already did it. But
yeah.
that's just kind of my opinion on it, man. It kind of sucks, Kind of made me sad.
I understand.
But yeah,
I understand.
just a little bit, But yeah, Japan setting was cool. Like I said, Bill Skarsgård as the villain was just awesome. He had this really cool presence because the John Wick 3 villain I wasn't the biggest fan of. He was kind of eh.
Well, I was gonna gateway that into a point. One of my pros is the characters.
Yeah,
I thought the characters were so awesome.
they were really good. The writing was really good with their like dialogue and their character development. And I'm with you, dude. No, the characters are really good, especially like I said, dude. Oh my God.
His old, I can't remember the old friend's name, but like even him and his daughter, and then you have like the original OGs. I can't think of.
Speaking of the guy that plays like the
Wallace?
receptionist, he passed away. The Lance Reddick.
Oh, Lance Reddick, yeah.
He passed away like a week ago, dude, and it's just so sad. He was never really able to see how awesome this movie like was. He obviously probably saw it, I think, at the premiere, but he didn't really get to see the reception it's getting. And John Wick 4 has the biggest opening of any John Wick movie ever, so it's doing really well, and it sucks that he's not able to see it, man. I think he was 60 years old, and it says natural causes, so I'm curious to see when they start releasing information on what exactly happened. I'm assuming
like a disease he had.
maybe cardiovascular. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely really curious because 60's young. 60's still
Pretty
super young to die to natural causes. So really sad
Absolutely.
to see. So R.I.P. to him. But his character is one of my favorites, dude. And he dies.
Yeah.
Wait. He died. Was it 4 that he died in when he got shot, or was that 3?
No, it was 4.
It was 4. Yeah, man. That hurt me a lot, man. That was that. Yeah, I wasn't too happy.
No, because he was gonna shoot. What's the guy's name? The older guy.
Oh, Winston.
Winston. I was making the joke. I was like,
oh yeah, and he went this way. Yeah. Winston, man, he should have died
instead of shooting. Yes, exactly right. They had such a chance with Lance, and not necessarily a younger actor, but his character is just really interesting.
Very interesting. He was so cool in the first one. Remember, he watched the dog and stuff. Like, dude, Lance was he was a great actor, man, and did such a good job.
Winston's no
one cares about Winston. Yeah, no one likes him. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, characters were great, and even the blind guy.
Kane,
Kang.
Kane was one of my. I thought his fighting, and this is the only thing I have to say. Like nothing against Keanu, like. Kane's fighting was the biggest draw for the movie for me. Like I thought his fighting style, because he's blind and like you can
Daredevil type vibes, bro.
Dude, you could literally see he relied on his senses. Like he wouldn't react like he could see. Like he just moved like he was dancing. It was crazy.
Dude, dancing. That's probably the best like comparison. You're right. He was kind of like he was almost becoming the art form, and becoming the
Yeah.
martial art, you know what I mean? Which was just gorgeous. And like you said, you could still tell he was blind because, like, when they offered him drinks and stuff, he would miss it. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
get it
yeah,
again. So
yeah.
those
Walk
subtle
the wrong
details,
way.
right? The details were very subtle, but they worked really well, and it kind of reminded you, yeah, this guy, even though he's fighting, like he can see everything, he's still blind, and it worked really well. I mean, and he provided a lot of comic relief too. Remember when he
Yeah.
had like the deck of cards and he's like, "Let's see," or something like that, dude. And we had
Uh-huh.
people like started dying behind us. So like those subtle comedic things were really really funny.
No, absolutely.
And that's another thing too. The big Winston Frisk type of guy that we got in this one, the big dude. Remember at the
Yeah, yeah,
casino?
yeah, yeah. Like
He was really cool. Yeah. Yeah. The pin.
the pin. Yeah, I was gonna
I want to
say
say
the
Pinhead.
Kingpin.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say Pinhead. Oh yeah, Kingpin.
Pinhead.
Yeah. He was cool, but once again, it's like this movie almost had too much in it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like it's like so much
That's
going
what
on.
I'm saying. It was too long, but at the same time, it needed more time. Like it
Yeah.
makes no
Yeah.
sense.
But no,
It's a
he
pro
was
and
really
a
cool
con.
too. And seeing Keanu get his butt whooped, dude, by him was awesome.
Fine, dude. And I think it was Sean that we were talking. He was like, yeah, or I can't remember. Somebody was shitting on it, and they were like, yeah, like it's unrealistic. Keanu never like, in real life, like if he were to be fighting. Oh, I think it was Jacob actually. He was like, if this was real life, he would have gotten dropped, bro. And I was like, I don't think so, dude. Like he was getting his ass kicked. He
He
choked
was,
him
dude.
out. You know what
He
I
got
mean?
remember he
Like,
got thrown down the like balcony and
yeah,
landed, and of course he
yeah,
survived a
yeah.
3-story balcony drop. But he fell. Remember, and he looks up and he sees the Winston Frisk guy looking down at him, and
Uh,
it's like, bro, that's a bit. Dude, Keanu got his butt whooped and he almost died. Multiple times to that guy.
but he wins.
But he wins. No, dude, that was actually probably one
All
of the
right, can we
closest fights
set
he's
up?
ever had.
Can we set up John Wick versus Floyd Mayweather? Like, I need to see who's winning the fight.
Dude, him versus prime Mike Tyson. John Wick's gonna win.
John Wick's winning, dude.
Yeah.
But this is the ultimate question: John Wick versus Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, bro. Or like,
I was gonna
like
say Bruce
Jason
Lee beat him,
Bourne,
man.
bro. Yeah.
Oh
Something
yeah,
like
that'd be
man.
dope.
You could do a lot of different stuff with it, bro. But yeah, no, just I don't know. It's funny you bring up the versus movies. When your movie franchise is a versus like movie, like Freddy versus Jason or
Oh,
Ash
yeah, we get
versus Evil
Bond.
Dead. Yeah,
Bond versus Wick.
yeah, all those stuff. That means your franchise is in shambles, and that's like the worst ever thing to see. So, hopefully it doesn't have to, kind of
Yeah, hopefully we're the only
fall
ones
back
making
on
jokes
that.
right now.
But
But
yeah. Hopefully it doesn't ever come to that. But we'll see. That would be cool to watch though. But yeah, so the characters were really good, and I loved his character, the casino guy, and the way he died. Oh
Yep.
my god, dude! Remember he fell on his neck.
Dude,
And you heard the
cool.
crack. Oh Jesus!
super
I'm doing
cool.
a John Wick thing real quick. But no, but no, dude, that his death was brutal because he's like 600 pounds. Not 600, but he's probably like solid like
He was
350.
a thick boy.
Yeah, he's a big dude and he's tall. So he
Hmm.
fell and he landed all that weight on his neck, and I was like, oh my god, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, the characters are really good for sure. I'm with you on that, dude. And yeah, did what a John Wick movie needs to be. And I have one more huge pro, my biggest pro. But I'll let you see
Yeah.
if you have any other pros before we keep going.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. I'll talk about Bill Skarsgård a little bit more too, because I kind of cut you off when you were doing that. But
You're good, man.
he did so good, man. Honestly, because I love him in it. I thought that's such a stellar performance, and to see him in this as like a complete, and he's not even American. Like it's so interesting, and his character is that like conceited. He almost seems like the king's son, the conceited little brat
Yeah.
that is so confident he would destroy him, but like when it came down to it, he was a weasel. And you know what I mean? He played the character super well. But yeah, man. Pretty much that's it for me on the pros.
Well,
Like,
and
like we
one
talked
more
about
thing
it.
about Bill Skarsgård too.
Yeah.
He I think is one of the most underrated actors out there right now. Even though he's been in some stuff, like everybody just knows him as Pennywise, but he's
Yeah.
been great in some other stuff, like Barbarian. He was incredible in,
I
and
haven't seen it yet.
you need to watch it. And this
Isn't
one he was
Dafoe in that
really
one,
really
too?
not Defoe. No,
No, William
no,
Dafoe's not in it?
Barbarian. I don't know. Barbarian was the new horror movie that came out in like November, October. of this
Is there
past
someone
October.
else that's big in that movie?
No, the main girl's pretty unknown as well.
Really?
There's an older
Hey,
guy.
okay.
No, there's an older guy. There's an old guy. He's like 80.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. But I didn't recognize
Look
him.
into it.
Just go for it. But that movie. It was kind of, I had mixed feelings. It was an interesting film for sure. Like it's an entertaining film. But it just wasn't kind of my cup of tea. It wasn't what I was expecting. Let's just say that. So going into that Barbarian movie with an open mind for sure. But he's phenomenal in that. Plays kind of the nice guy. So this is something totally different for him, and he Bill Skarsgård can be like the staple villain guy for the next 20 years. Like that's how good he is. Like, there's guys who always plays the villain, right? And Bill Skarsgård could be that guy. You're not that guy, actually. But he is that guy.
But you are that guy.
Yeah. So but seriously, dude, I could see him. He has that like really like tall, skinny, you know what I mean? Kind of like playboy. Like he can really, really kick it for a long time in this industry as the bad guy. And he can do great as the nice guy too. Like I said, go watch Barbarian. He's such a sweet dude in that. So gives off kind of the weirdo vibe too, because he has that kind of like look to him. He's kind of creepy in a way. But that's the whole Skarsgård family. You know what I mean? They can all play the kind of crazy weird guy.
Yeah, right.
But no, he's phenomenal, dude, and he can definitely get up to, like I said, everybody knows him because of it, but he can definitely do some crazy stuff, and his range is actually unreal. So keep an eye on Bill Skarsgård. Like I said, everybody knows him, but he's going to be the big guy going forward in Hollywood in these next 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Sure. And then my last big I just said it. My last big pro is cinematography. This is the best visuals I've seen in any John Wick movie ever. I
was gonna say that too because you get nominated for the Oscars.
I hope it does, because there's no like combat award or no like choreography. Yeah. And this movie would win it 100%. Every year, John Wick would have won it every year's release. But this movie is beautiful with the choreography, but the cinematography, dude, the director, the DP, whoever was the DP's behind most of the shots, but the director has to say, it's actually unreal. It is unreal,
I totally
dude.
Agree, dude.
I mean, there's shots in this film that even in the quote unquote boring
parts. I'm gonna call up the arcade zombies scene. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like Black
dude.
Ops arcade zombies.
Yes.
They were doing like a freaking bird eye view from the top, and
you're
just seeing John Wick go through the roof.
Oh my god.
And you know they were doing that in a studio, no roofs. Like you're literally just watching him annihilate people from room to room.
3 minutes straight. This is a one shot, like 3 minutes.
He looked over at me and he was like, that's one take, and I was like, I know, dude, that's insane.
And I kept thinking to myself, like, this is still going. This is still
going. Yeah.
But no, dude,
when he messed up.
I'm sure they did. It's like he probably went through about 6-7 rooms. Like probably more. A whole entire building he cleared, bro. Like it felt like a video game. Like that's what I loved about it, and that's what they were going for.
It's
like,
realistic,
bro, I feel
too.
like
it didn't feel like he was like just OP. Like he was tactically killing everybody.
And that sounds like when you have those ideas that sound good on paper, but then you do them and they're like, eh. Like, this is something that sounds great on paper and works great on camera.
It works even
you know what I mean?
Like, God, yeah.
And it felt perfect with the scene, dude. And that was something that I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, that's one of my favorite shots of all time, is that 4 minute, maybe even 5 minute. It felt like it was going on forever of him just going through the entire thing, but it didn't feel like it was too long. It felt just perfect, just perfect, just perfect.
It's pretty perfect,
just perfect, bro.
Killer.
So it was beautiful, dude. The cinematography definitely. If it's not nominated for an Oscar, I give up. I don't know.
I agree. No, I totally give you that, dude. I thought of that when we were watching the movie. I even told Sean that, but yeah, I should have said that as a pro too. I totally agree. Yeah. Cinematography was amazing, man.
Yeah, the DP, all props to you, dude. I don't know who it was.
All the fight scenes, they never felt stitched together. Like a lot of them were like one take shots. It's really cool.
It's gorgeous,
especially when John and her were fighting. I can't think of her name, but the daughter were fighting together.
Yeah.
Beginning of that scene, it wasn't as long as the one scene we were just talking about, but they did a one take scene for.
I remember going kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was some, and it kind of like shifted. No, you're right, dude. That was actually really, really cool.
You get like the two viewpoints. It's super cool.
And like I said, maybe I need to, like, the more I talk about this film, the pros, the more I remember loving it. Like, maybe I need to go back and watch it again. Like, this is our first watch. You know what I mean? And you need to watch a movie more than once to really give your true opinion on it. But no, beautiful stuff, dude. I'm with you 100%. And one more thing too, I didn't watch it because I went to go pee in the middle of it. By the way, the first time I've ever had to go pee in the middle of a film, the first time. I usually like stick through it, dude. I missed the stairs.
Dude, the best scene in the whole movie,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm kind of mad.
John Wick, bro, falls down at least 15 plus flights of stairs. And it was literally like,
Yeah.
like, dude, no words, just the scraping of clothing and the grunts of pain from Keanu Reeves for about a minute and 20 seconds. I swear to you, the minute he got up, guess who met him down there? The bald
Oh.
dude who looked like a bulldog. The third in command, not even the second command, the third in command, literally kicked him in the chest, grabbed him, did a twirl, and literally threw him in midair down the stairs again. And he's in midair, oh, 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 rolling faster and faster.
And then I came back. You're like, bro, you missed it. And then they're fighting, and then he rolls down the steps again. Yeah,
Again!
it was. I listen. I don't know if that affected anybody in a negative way because I didn't see the first stair roll.
Dude,
but
honestly,
even after
I
a
was
while, it happened two
laughing.
times. It happened two times, and I was back. And even then, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, what are we doing, guys?
Because you know what I compared it to when I was talking with Sean? I've been talking about him a lot. My boy.
My boy.
The Kung Fu Panda scene where he's climbing the stairs and he gets all the way to the top and he
Oh,
falls
yeah.
all the way down the stairs. I was like, please tell me that's some homage. to Kung Fu
Probably.
Panda.
And they said also, I was watching a guy, Cody Leach. He's a great movie reviewer. If you guys are watching this, and you don't know who Cody Leach is and you love movie reviews, go check him out. He's awesome. He does a lot of horror stuff, but he also does a lot of action. And he said there's a big like callback to an old 80s, 70s action movie in this movie.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I don't know
didn't
what it
see
was. He said, if when you saw it. Maybe I just totally missed it. I don't know. But if you guys know what it is, let us know, man. But no, overall, dude, Brayden, do you have any other pros? Probably not.
No, I pretty much that's it, man. We tackled all the action, the characters, and the cinematography.
Yeah.
Great movie. That's what makes a good movie, man.
Now,
the writing
and a great, which that's another thing too.
Movie.
One thing I'll talk about, and we'll stop because this review's like an hour long. The John Wick movies, usually the writing's not incredible. Listen, it's great, but I'm saying incredible like compared to like Interstellar or Inception, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But because they don't need to be that great, right? It's just action. This movie, this writing is beautiful. The dialogue
really good,
even though Keanu Reeves probably said 4 lines throughout the entire movie.
Dude, that was something that was so crazy. I noticed he had like, dude, maybe 9 lines at most.
And most were, yeah, no,
yeah,
okay, you know what I mean? So no, the writing was really good for the fact that it's a John Wick movie. Like the dialogue was beautiful. The character development. Like this is a film that like I feel like I should like a lot more, and it should be higher up on my John Wick list. But I feel like maybe it's just because it was the same thing as the third movie. It wasn't too unique for me. I don't know what it was, but like all these signs are pointing toward a perfect John Wick movie, the best writing and the best cinematography.
And I was going to talk to you about that. It's like something that I realized happens a lot of the time. You know, we talk about watching the movie back is the best way to understand it, but I really think even that is a great way, and that is still like would have even benefited the conversation even more. But at the end of the day, like just sitting and talking about it, like when we talk about these films, like I come in with this premeditated mindset sometimes, and then when we like talk about it, I'm like, wow, I have way more good things to say.
Yeah.
Like, yes, were we really lengthy with the cons? Absolutely. But there are way more pros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the pros outweigh the cons. You can just get into such fine detail about something you like, but we're just so happy with the simplest of things for this. Like thinking about it more and more, like, you know, it is a better movie as we're talking about it, you know?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right, dude. And that's what's great. You know what I mean? Every movie has flaws. You can pick out your favorite movie of all time. There's going to be problems with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But dude, there's that one guy that it's their favorite movie. They can tell you exactly why it's the best movie.
That's true. That's true. For sure, dude. But no, yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's a gorgeous film, and I feel like I should like it more. Now, like I said, we'll eventually get back to the ranking one day. You know, I'm actually gonna do a ranking on my own on my YouTube channel sometime this week. But I'm gonna give you guys my ranking right now, and I'll let. Actually, you know what? No, before we do that, let's go and just finish the review for the fourth film. So yeah, John Wick 4, like I said, phenomenal film, did everything right. Just I feel like I need to watch it again and really digest it and watch all the movies in a row. If you watched the fourth movie recently but didn't watch all the films like in kind of, as like preparation for the film, binge them all.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely do it and let me know your opinion below, because I feel like it's gonna change a little bit and you're gonna not like 3 as much, not like 4 as much. They're gonna kind of hurt each other in a way. But the first two are just, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I guess we can just kind of rank them, dude, or rate it, I guess.
Yeah, let's hear your rating.
All right, so this is a film that, like I said, a lot of way more good than bad. As a film overall, dude, I gotta probably give it I'm thinking of the cons again. It's kind of weighing it down. You know what I mean? I'll probably give it like an 8.8.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say what I was gonna say. I was like, "There's no way it's gonna happen again."
I'm gonna go 8.8.
And you're definitely not far off. Like I sat between 8.8 and what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna give it. Maybe this is a little ballsy, but I'm gonna give it a 9.0. Just a 9 on the dot.
I was gonna say 9.
I thought, dude,
so I was gonna say 9,
like, what the fuck?
but then I started thinking about like, oh man, the is really kind of sped up ending, and then kind of how we were both kind of like getting a little bit iffy in the middle. Remember?
8.9.
Yeah,
8.9.
yeah. So it's just a movie I need to rewatch, but
it is quality.
Yeah.
Like I think all the other ones, can't speak for the third, but first, second one are definitely 9s and above.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is like, I think maybe if I rewatch it, it could become a 9. But
yeah, very
thinking
possible.
thinking about it and being realistic and not being really nice, I'd give it an 8.9. 8.9 is a fair rating.
Very fair rating. And what I'm excited about too is we're gonna like go through all these different ratings and then look at them at the end of the year too, when we do our ranking, to see like where they're at, because we're gonna rank them based on their ratings and then also how we kind of enjoy them, if that makes sense. So that's gonna be a fun. I cannot wait for that episode. It's gonna be a good one.
I am so hype.
Yes sir. So yeah, 8.8, 8.9. There you guys go. Let us know your ranking down below. And that'll be it for the YouTube video on the review, man. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, which you of course are, because it wouldn't be anywhere else, give this video a like, comment down below what your rating is of this film. Did you love it? Did you not like it? I don't know. Most people say it's the best movie. I've only found 2 people that say it's not their favorite John Wick movie. That's it. The entire time I've been on social media and talking to people, only 2 people, strangers on Instagram, say everybody I know say it's their favorite John Wick movie. So you guys let us know. If it's your favorite, let us know. If it's not your favorite, let us know that too. Tell us why. Hopefully you kind of resonated with some of our opinions.
Tell me why, bro.
Tell me why. Tell me why. So yeah, give this video a like, comment down below your opinions on this video and what you think of the movie and the franchise as a whole. Where do you want to go with it? All that fun stuff. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that little bell notification so you're notified every single time we post new episodes every single week on Actors POV. We love y'all, man.
Don't forget the most important part. Tell Logan Allen how much you freaking love and adore him.
And my guy. One more thing too. This is only like a clip on YouTube. You guys can go to the full podcast episode on Spotify and YouTube. Just go ahead and do that for us. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching, man.